We got an early start leaving the Days Inn in Torrey, Utah the morning of May 8th. Temperatures had been in the mid-30s as we packed the bike, but they warmed up nicely as we headed northeast towards I-70, even with the rain. We had only been on the road for about 2.5 hours when we stopped for lunch off I-70 at the Arby's in Green River. We only had about an hour ride south to Arches National Park from Green River. So we took our time with lunch, sat around for about an hour and a half, talking, laughing, and discussing the things that we'd seen on the trip so far. Within about 5 minutes of getting back on I-70, it started to rain again, and it was a pretty good drenching rain. It was a bit discouraging thinking that our ride through Arches National Park was going to be a wet one. But a half an hour into our wet ride south, the clouds started to part, we could see blue skies, and things were really looking up. Our plan was to ride the remaining half hour down to Arches, get as deep into the park as we possibly could, maybe take a little bit of a hike, and then come out, continue south down to Moab, and spend the night. The remainder of the ride down to the park entrance was a treat all in itself. We were treated to stunning landscapes and incredible rock formations with beautiful colors that were just a hint of what we were going to be experiencing in the park. Nothing can prepare you for this kind of beauty. The scale of it is just breathtaking. Words can't ever describe it, and even when you're there looking at it, it doesn't seem real. As we made the turn into the park and approached the entrance, we noticed that there was an accident. There was a car off the road over in the brush, and we had to wonder if it was the guy from the McDonald's before we entered Zion who told us that he had this irresistible urge to jerk his wheel and go off the cliff. And now, please enjoy Arches National Park and my son Nathaniel's amazing music. Both of these things gifts from God. Before we left the park, we rode in as deep as the paved road would take us. By this time, it had become very hot. It was in the upper 80s, and I was suffering. As I've said many times, I don't do well in the heat. Sharon, Helen, and Carl had all brought hiking shoes to change into. I didn't. They decided to take a hike up Devil's Garden Trail to Landscape Arch and take a few pictures. I decided that I'd just hang out with the bikes and make sure that none of the stuff that we couldn't lock up would get stolen.
Oh, look at the puppy dog.
Really just an excuse for being lazy.
It is, isn't it?
After they were done with their hike, we exited the park, got back on 191 South, and headed down towards Moab. Not really a long ride, but a pretty ride. We started to see the signs of civilization again, pulled in for gas, filled our tanks, and got into the center of Moab, really kind of a cool little town. We pulled over into the parking lot of a convenience store to get some cold drinks, and while we were in the parking lot, we started looking for motels for the night. We were absolutely stunned at what they were getting for a motel room. I mean, it was like $500 a night, just ridiculous. So we started looking further south, and we found a place to stay in a little town called Monticello. We made a reservation, got back on the road, and headed south. That's when the weather changed again. It started to rain, and we actually got some snow flurries. The temperatures really dropped. And by the time we got to Monticello, we were pretty cold. Thankfully, the Inn at the Canyons Motel had under-roof parking for all of the motorcycles, hot coffee in the lobby and in the rooms, and a wonderfully welcoming hot tub alongside the pool. We took full advantage of that after we brought all the gear in. There were plenty of places to eat in town, but we opted to just walk across the street to a nice little cafe, grab a quick bite, and then call it a night. Day 4 in the books.